Please welcome Washington Area Women's Foundation President and CEO, Jennifer Lockwood-Shabat.
But there's a hope that's waiting for you in the dark. You should know you're beautiful just the way you are.
Hello. Wow, 20 years. Can you believe it? It's hard to imagine that our first luncheon back in 1998 attracted 139 guests. Today, we're delighted to welcome more than 1,100. It's amazing. Today's focus on our 20th anniversary offers a welcome respite from the 24/7 news cycle. But I do believe the horrific events of the last week bears mention before I continue. Regardless of race, religion, political views, we mourn the loss of 11 Jews killed while worshiping in Pittsburgh, and 2 African Americans murdered outside a grocery store in Louisville, Kentucky. Killing innocent people and perpetuating hate has no place in our country. While some continue to vilify and demonize those they view as others, I know that the vast majority of us believe in civility, common decency, and love. We must stand together to focus on hope, not hate. Thank you. And so today, I choose to focus on hope, and that's why we're here. Each of us is standing on the shoulders of women who came before us. The Women's Foundation began with a group of women who came together with a vision for women investing in women. 20 years later, and many of those women are still connected to us, and for that, I am incredibly grateful. I stand before you as the 4th leader of the foundation, building on the leadership of 3 extraordinary women, Ann Mosley, Phyllis Caldwell, and Nikki Gorin. I'm proud to call them friends, and I thank them for their continued support. I also stand before you because throughout my career, other women have taken a chance on me. They've opened a door. They've pushed me when I felt a little unsure. How many of you have had a similar experience? Someone opened a door that led to another doorway and then another. That's what the Women's Foundation is all about. We know that one open door can change a woman's life and the lives of those around her. For 20 years, we've invested in and worked alongside our community to support women and girls. When I reflect on our 20-year history, 2 themes come to mind: leadership and community. This dates back to our beginnings in 1998 when the Women's Foundation was launched with our signature grant-making program, the Leadership Awards, designed to support programs and organizations that were helping women and girls attain economic stability and reach their full potential. That first year, we granted $17,500 to 5 organizations. Working with volunteers, we identified leaders and nonprofits who had yet to be recognized for their work. We invested in them and created a community of support for them. Those early grants were relatively small, $3,500, but as you'll hear in a moment, their impact went far beyond the monetary value. Research became a critical piece of our work in 2003 when we released the Portrait Project, a collaboration of more than 50 nonprofits and organizations. The research was the first analysis of challenges and opportunities facing women in the region. That research then became the backbone of our economic security grant-making program, Stepping Stones. Launched in 2005, Stepping Stones was a 10-year initiative designed to improve the economic security of low-income, women-headed households by focusing on increasing assets, ensuring access to good jobs, and high-quality early care and education. In total, we invested $10 million in 73 organizations resulting in more than 23,000 women increasing their income and assets by $63 million. Incredible impact, yes, but I believe that the true success of Stepping Stones is the fact that it encouraged nonprofits to think about their work with a gender lens, to understand the barriers to economic stability that are unique to women, to adapt their programs and strategies to meet the needs of women and girls where they are. We help to build a community of nonprofits who now look at their work very differently. We also learn that sometimes that's not enough. There are many women and girls who are afforded open doors and bright futures based on their race, socioeconomic status, and other privileges. But for our region's women and girls of color, a complex set of obstacles obscures access to those doorways. Years of discrimination and racism led to closed doors. Harsh judgments were made based on assumptions about the amount of money in her wallet, the person she loves, the neighborhood she calls home, what she looks like, how her community views her, or whether they view her at all. Take Brianna. In May, she graduated from GW and was starting her first job. Wanting nothing but the best for her son, she toured a high-quality preschool. She described to me the experience of watching a white mother ask question after question, and the staff person very politely and patiently answering. When it came her turn, the staff person's body language and tone changed. She became dismissive and rude, not willing to engage in a conversation or answer her questions. Brianna knew. She knew her and her son were being seen and treated much differently. But Brianna was not deterred. She, along with 20 of her colleagues, make up our Young Women's Advisory Council. And let me tell you, together they are a force for change. For the past year, we've listened, yes. I'm surprised, they're being a little quiet in the back, which I'm a little surprised about, but for the past year, we've listened and learned from these powerful young women. They've advised us on the issues impacting their lives and provided us with solutions. With their leadership last month, we released the Blueprint for Action, which reflects the voices of more than 250 young women of color. It offers recommendations around 6 key issues, but we didn't wait until the blueprint was finished to take action. Earlier this spring, we learned that funding for the New Heights program, which provides critical support for pregnant and parenting teens in DCPS, was eliminated from the DC budget. Members of our advisory council shared how important this program was to them. We quickly mobilized, and many here in this room reached out to city council members to urge them to restore funding. Together, we were successful. Over the past 20 years, we've built a reputation as a trusted expert and partner. Our role as a convener is so critically important, especially in polarizing times. Convening has always been a rich part of our history. It's one of our core strengths, and it will be an even richer part of our future. Take our work around contraceptive access for young women in DC. Last month, we released the findings from a needs assessment that we conducted with GW School of Public Health to look at the gaps, barriers, and facilitators to improving contraceptive access in DC. It may come as no surprise that there was a disconnect between the data and what women told us to be their experiences. Using these findings, we're working with 50 community partners to design interventions focused on the experiences and needs of young women. Or take our work in early care and education. We manage the Washington Region Early Care and Education Workforce Network, which consists of 27 members representing higher ed, local state government, advocates, family and center-based care, and public schools, all working together to create a regional career pathway for early childhood educators. It takes leadership and intentionality to bring together our community to work towards solutions, and that's what Washington Area Women's Foundation has done for 20 years. In many ways, we've come full circle, and as we look to the future, we're returning to our roots. Next year, we'll relaunch the Leadership Awards, providing general operating support to smaller organizations working to improve the economic security of women and girls with a specific focus on women and girls of color. We'll continue to use data and research to identify inequities. We'll center the voices and experiences of women of color. We'll embrace our role as convener and catalyst, uniting our community toward achieving economic stability for women and girls. Today, we honor the leaders who had the vision and the tenacity to start this organization 20 years ago. And to rise to the challenges of the next 20 years, we must invest in our community's leaders, whether it's women and girls of color who are experiencing economic vulnerability, or the nonprofits doing the back-breaking work, or individual and corporate philanthropists who want to see their investment make a difference. That's what the Women's Foundation does best. Finally, to the men who are here, you're here because you already understand the importance of investing in women and girls. We need more of you. We need the leadership, the voice, and the partnership of men who want to be part of the solution. The next 20 years requires it. Together, we can open doors to a bright future. You've already demonstrated that by being here today. As we move forward, let it be our shoulders that young women stand upon when they break every glass ceiling. Thank you. Thank you. And now, it's my honor to introduce an incredible woman, Marta Urquia. Talk about full circle. This is one of those moments. Marta is someone that I've admired for a really long time. She's an entrepreneur, a visionary, and a change maker. And she just happened to be the executive director of Sister to Sister, Hermana a Hermana, when they became our very first leadership awardee 20 years ago. She then went on to work for the Obama administration, where she designed the first social innovation fund at the Corporation for National and Community Service. She then served as deputy director at the Beck Center for Social Impact and Innovation at Georgetown, and is now the chief program officer at Education Design Lab. She is nothing short of extraordinary. And I was so humbled recently when she and I had a chance to connect more deeply about her early work at Sister to Sister. Please join me in welcoming my friend, Marta Urquia.